Welcome to a new edition of Harness Central. I'm Harold Howe here with Tony O'Sullivan, Classy Lane Training Center, to kind of get an update on the year, Tony. It was an interesting year for you. You made a number of changes, as we talked about in the summer. You closed down the Jersey branch of the stable, but you went on and had your biggest win ever, winning the Metro with Beyond Delight. And at the time of closing down the Jersey arm, you were saying you felt pretty good about the decision, even though some people might question it. It's reflected in the numbers. Stable won 2.1 million, but you raced 250 times less. That's a long introduction, but I guess how do you feel about things as you get ready to go into Christmas?
I feel good. Our numbers are down earnings-wise, but that's expected. We didn't have the Yonkers operation, and Yonkers, that was just a cash cow. But I'm happy with the decision I made, and the barn up here ran a lot smoother, and we were able to focus more on the younger horses, which is really kind of where I want to be at, and I'm really happy.
No shortage of yearlings.
No shortage of yearlings. No.
You got 25?
Yeah, we're gonna go into the winter with a tick over 20 yearlings. So that's the most we've ever had.
All right. Well, let's just reflect on the year and start with Beyond Delight. Metro win, Champlain, you got 4 1/4 made. Then he went missing in action, and I guess what was the story there?
It was the way he was staked. He was staked to the Metro and the Champlain, and then he didn't have anything until the Governor's Cup. And honestly, he had too long off. You'd think it was great to have a horse have 2 months off, but at the time of the Metro and the Champlain, he thrived on racing and he thrived on work. And he wasn't bomb-proof at the beginning of his career. He wasn't as slick-gated as he turned out to be. And when he was racing through those races, we were able to make some adjustments and get feedback from Sylvan, and everything just worked. And then he had 2 months off. Trained very well, schooled well. We had some problem with the weather on qualifying days, and the schedule just wasn't going to work out. And I didn't think I could have him at 100% for the Governor's Cup, so we decided to shut him down.
So knowing all that, can you apply it next year to the 3-year-old season?
Well, yeah, I mean, next year, obviously, he'll probably be staked a little bit heavier. There's a lot more racing. There won't be as big of a gap for him. So hopefully he matures up a little bit and gets stronger and a little bit thicker in himself. And, he was a surprise, and he's definitely got the world of ability. And even in his last start, when he didn't race well, he still had the attitude to go, and we put him away healthy and sound. So that's all good.
Let's talk about Mayhem Sealster. Filly, she made 237. A lot of good paydays, even though she only won one gold race. But, I mean, wouldn't you like to be married to her?
Yeah, she's one of my very favourite horses. She's got a fantastic attitude. She always has. She raced a lot early in the season, and she went through a few aches and pains. And honestly, we couldn't really have her good until the end of the season, and that's when she won the gold. The super final, she over-raced herself a little bit, but all in all, I figured she'd make 250 to 300, and she made just shy of 250. So very, very happy, and I'm really looking forward to racing her for another couple of years.
Now, what about Happy Trio? This is a Mach 3 colt. He made 157. He was second in the Battle of Waterloo, won 1 gold. Overachiever? Underachiever? Where do you place him?
He's certainly not an overachiever. We really liked him. Late in the spring, once we started, training the babies and getting into them a little bit, he really showed that he could have some ability. Maybe a little bit disappointed with a couple of his races. It looks like he liked to be tripped out. He was very, very good in the super final. He just hit the 9-hole and went to the back and paced home as fast as anybody. So he's another one. I mean, I expect him to just do a really good job next year, and he's a very sound horse, and he's got a great attitude.
A horse you really like that was disappointing through, I guess, no fault of her own, was Soiree Sealster. This is the Big Jim filly, won 107,000, 4 starts, and then she disappeared, and there was some drama there.
Yeah, we think she strained her shoulder, her muscles. She just wasn't herself after her last win, and I could have pushed along with her, and we certainly could have got her to the super final, but the 3 of us own her, and we all made the decision to put her away. And I think she's a very good filly. She showed that. I mean, right from the first qualifier, I thought she had a pretty big future, and if she comes back on the same note that she finished her last start, then we're going to have a lot of fun with her next year.
One horse I just wanted to touch base on because I find as I age, I have more and more appreciation for this type of horse. Is Your Majestic. She's a Majestic 4-year-old trotting mare. Nobody writes about these horses, but she made $105,000. She paid some bills on a number of others, and I mean they're just the cornerstones, I think, of every stable.
Yeah, she's an absolute sweetheart. I mean, we used to have a barn full of Your Majestics and whatever, and as we've gotten into babies, we've gotten away from those racehorses. But a filly like her, I mean, to put in perspective, she came in on January 15 of 2015 and raced all of her 3-year-old year. She won the American National in November, and then she shipped to another couple tracks, ended up back in my New Jersey barn, and came back up here and raced 32 times and made 100,000 and trotted 53 consistently. So she raced last night and didn't race well, so she's done for the year. But she's just, you know what, it's amazing to be in work that long and set a lifetime mark, 2 starts ago. Very, very good, and she should do a really good job next year.
And we both can list a lot of 4-year-olds that couldn't make that transition, just lost and struggled to pay their way.
Yeah, she absolutely. I mean, the 4-year-old year is tough, but she just, we left her alone. There was no expectation of her, and she just got better and better. And I didn't know she was going to do that as a 4-year-old. She didn't have a good 3-year-old year until she won the American National. Muscle Baby Doll was better than her, and she had problems this year. And I would, you would never have thought that Your Majestic would be better than Muscle Baby Doll, but she weathered the storm. She's a tough filly. She's a sound filly, and hopefully each year we keep some babies, and in 3 or 4 years we'll have 20 Your Majestics.
Sure. Well, good luck through the winter, and thanks for your time.
Great. Thanks, Harold.
Harold Howe with Tony O'Sullivan, giving you the Harness Racing Edge.